Everyone, a very good evening to all, and thank you for attending the MSc Accountancy Program Information and Student Sharing session. My name is Nishan, and together with me is my colleague Regine. So together we are part of the MSc team.
Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining us this evening. We hope that you will have a fruitful session this evening. As Lishan share with you more about the program, and later on when we have a student to share the experience with all of us here this evening.
Yes, that's right. Okay, so the agenda for today. Firstly, I'll provide an introduction to the MSc Accountancy program, followed by an introduction for our three panelists for today's sharing session. And then after, the Q&A section. Okay, so for this slide, let's see how NTU has fared in terms of the latest university rankings. So for a young university like NTU, we are very proud and grateful to be recognized and ranked alongside the world's top universities. And this can be seen in three rankings. So for the QS ranking, we are ranked 12. For the QS under 50 for 8 consecutive years since 2014, we've been ranked first. And for the Times Higher Education Young University, we are also first. So Nanyang Business School has been accredited by bodies like Equias and AACSB for being one of the most comprehensive business schools globally that provide accounting programs. So the Nanyang Business School MSc Accountancy. So we are Singapore's first and most established accountancy school. We are ranked first in Asia, 4th in the world for audit research, and ranked first for PhD in accounting. And for more than 60 years, we have nurtured a pool of high caliber candidates, where most of them have rose up to the ranks of CFO and CEOs within their organizations. So for the accountancy age, the MSc Accountancy age. So for this slide, we're talking about how the MSc program has helped students in many ways. And also as a program, we are always finding ways to enable our students to keep abreast of the latest accounting trends. And how we do it is by incorporating some data analytics modules. And for our curriculum, it is very industry relevant. And we have also invited some domain experts from Deloitte and PwC to conduct these lessons. If I were to give you an example, it would be, we have a partner, PwC, that actually teach the module for accounting, forensic accounting. Okay, so the MSc program is also heavily dependent on peer-to-peer learning. So classroom presentations are very common. And the classes are always interactive, and the settings are in seminar style. So with the MSc Accountancy program, you are also able to fast-track your accounting qualifications. And some of the examples of accounting bodies can be seen in the next slide. So, okay, before the next slide, allow me to just talk briefly about our new data analytics track. So I'm very proud to announce that our MSc Accountancy program has recently introduced data analytics as a specialization. Okay, so the program understands that the need for a futuristic set of accountants. Therefore, the modules within data analytics can provide specialized knowledge and training in databases, visual and predictive techniques in analytics, audit analytics, AI, and blockchain. So with a MSc Accountancy with data analytics, it will ensure that you have a wider career opportunity because you're going to embrace both the technical aspects of data analytics and the fundamentals and traditional roles of accounting. So for the data analytics track, it is a 60 months course and it is full-time. So yes, so these are some of the accounting bodies that the MSc program, the students, they can fast track into in terms of examinations, professional examinations, and exemptions. So the class profile. So for the class of 2021, as seen, our students are of the average age of 24. Average years of working experience is 2.1. We have 5 nationalities. The majority of them are from the Asian region. and our class size is 89. So for this slide, some of you must be very curious about the structure overview of how the MSc Accountancy program is. So it is based on a one-year program structure. So if you see from the slide, you can see something like pre-term, business communication skills, or accounting. So if you have been selected for any pre-term courses, giving you an example, if you were selected for accounting course, it is because you have limited to no background in accountancy. As for the business communication skills, it is mandatory for the students to attend. So as you can also see, we have an optional module at the end of the third trimester. It is the internship or overseas exchange. We are trying to keep it flexible so that students can tailor the program to their own needs. And if ever you were to consider the options of internships or exchanges, please note that you occur between June to December of the year, and then you will graduate in January the following year. So if you were to take on the MSc Accountancy with Data Analytics, you will also have pre-term courses, and it's based on selection by the academic directors. Okay, so this program is a 16 months full-time course. There's no part-time to this. Okay, it is a 16 months program. So just like the MSc Accountancy program, for the first 3 trimesters, you will learn exactly the same as your peers from the normal accountancy program. And it is during the 4th trimester where you will get to learn in-depth in data analytics modules. And there are 5 modules to which is provided. So some of you might be interested to know about the career aspects. So allow me to give you a brief introduction of the Graduate Studies and Career Development Office. So we have a team of dedicated career counselors, which focuses on helping our master students by providing a very personalized one-on-one consultation. So the kind of services that the students can gain from our colleagues from the GSCDOs are like workshops that entails professional etiquette, networking, resume writing, even interview skills. This is in the hope that it will prepare you for your future employers and to meet the demands of the global workplace right now. So in terms of placement statistics, okay, so far with the help of our GSCDO team, as of 30th June 2021, our accountancy students have managed to have an estimated 92% of secured employment, 85% of secured internship, and right now about 11% are seeking either employment or internship. So with that, these are the key recruiters that are recruiting our class of 2021. So for tuition and admissions, so these are our course fees. So our course fees do not include the 7% GST. Okay, so for application deadline, round 1 is actually approaching soon, 31st January 2022. And the final round of application is 31st March 2022. So for admission requirements, as you can see, we require a bachelor's degree, but it doesn't have to be from any discipline, specific discipline. Okay, it is compulsory to have a GMAT or GRE. It is also compulsory to have IELTS or TOEFL if your program was not taught or your degree was not taught entirely in English before. Okay, and work experience is not required. In terms of application fee and enrollment fee, it is non-refundable. So yes, the MSc Accountancy program also has grants or scholarships. So we have an NBS Merit Partial Scholarship. We have an ASEAN Development Scholarship, which is very new to the scholarship to the scholarships that we offer. We also have NTU Alumni Grant and Singapore Citizen SPR Grant. Just to give you a brief idea, so if let's say you were to apply for a merit scholarship, the scholarship amount is actually determined by the scholarship committee. It is roughly, it can range to up to 20% of the course fee. Okay, so the ASEAN Development Scholarship, it also depends on the scholarship committee, and it range up to 40%. Okay, so NTU Alumni Grant and the Singapore Citizen SPR Grant is stackable, and it is 10% each. So for application timeline and process, okay, so there might be many of you that have started your application. Okay, so when you start your application, you have to take note that you have to make an application fee and then submit all the relevant documents, like your transcripts, your passport photos, and such. If you go into the application portal, you can actually see a list of the documents that you're supposed to upload. Okay, so once you complete that, you will receive a video assessment link for you to complete within a timeline of about 1 to 2 weeks. And if let's say you are selected and you are shortlisted based on the video assessment, you will proceed to the next step, which is the interview. And within 2 to 3 weeks, you will be able to know the interview decision. And if you ever apply for scholarship with us, it is important to note that all scholarship outcomes will be made also by the end of the application period. So the application for July 2022 has started. So maybe you can take note of the website below in the slide. And if you'd like to apply, you can begin applying now. Okay, so that's all for the program information. So right now, if everyone is okay, let's proceed on to the student sharing session. But first, allow me to stop share first so that we can see all our panelist faces.
Sutai, would you like to turn on your camera?
Yes. So for today's session, we actually have Celia, Sutai, and Rehong. Okay.
Yeah, Lisa, you want to, yeah, okay.
Yes. So with that, so for our student, Celia Chandra, okay, she graduated from NTU. That was for her bachelor's degree, and her major was electrical and electronic engineering. So Celia, would you like to give a brief introduction of yourself?
Okay, thank you, Sam. Hi everyone, I'm Celia. I think Chan did a great job in giving me an introduction, so I'll just share on why I chose to do MSc Accountancy in NTU. Basically, I really wanted to learn accounting in the shortest time possible, and I knew that NTU MSc Accountancy delivers a very comprehensive curriculum in only 1 year. It also has better reputation in the industry compared to other alternatives in Singapore. I think, yeah, that's why I'm here now.
Okay, that's very great, Celia. Thank you for the introduction. So next up, it is Sutai. So Sutai actually came from the Central University of Finance and Economics in China, and his undergraduate major was in accounting. So Sutai, are you able to give a brief introduction of yourself?
Okay, so hi everyone, I'm Alan, and just like so I got my bachelor's degree at the Central University of Finance Economics about 3 years ago. And during my time in college, I entered the KPMG AD program. So I had a 2-year internship experience. And after graduation, I had a 1-year working experience at KPMG Shanghai branch. And most of the time, I was serving listed company in the retail industry, like Gansu State and Vita Soil in audit department. So I think just for the reason I just leave the firm and join the program is because I think the most important reason is the program itself, because I think the MSc program is actually a very mature program with practical course structures and experienced faculties. So it's just, for example, like the Python programming and courses concerning data analytics have been added to the program. I think since more and more employers require the applicants, I think, especially in Singapore, to have a basic knowledge of programming. So I think that would be really helpful.
Okay, that's a very good introduction to yourself, Sutai. Okay, so next up is actually Rehong, an undergraduate universities from Peking University, and she majored in accounting. So, Ruhong, are you able to give a brief introduction of yourself?
Yeah, sure, thank you. So hi everyone, my name is Ria and my Chinese name is Ruhong. So just feel free to call me both. And actually, I graduated from Peking University 2 years ago in 2020, and then I took a gap year, also with a bachelor degree in accounting. So talking about reasons, I think it's more like personal consideration. So the most important motive for me to pursue my graduate study here is that I've always wanted to study and work and live in another country. So I think that's the most important reason. And then I also consider about like I want to start my career in audit. So I think having this experience in NTU Master in Accountancy program will be actually a good thing. So for NTU, why I chose NTU, because that I think NTU has a good profile and has a high rank, a good reputation. And actually back to 2 years ago, like my mentor also graduated from this university. So yeah, I think that's basically the reason why I want to join here.
Okay, that's also very informative, and thank you, Ruhong.
Yeah, thank you so much, for all your sharing. So I guess now everybody has, better, understanding, know our student profile a little bit better. So maybe let me, ask some of them, further question. So, so maybe I'll start with Sutai. So Sutai, since you have worked for a few years, and then now you're joining the MSc Accountancy, and then your undergrad major was also in accounting. Is there something new that you still learn in our program?
I think definitely. I think there's not an overlap between my classes in my bachelor in century in my when I have for my bachelor degree, and since during my 4 year in college, most of my courses was under the PRC standard, and the courses but the courses in the MACC program are under IFIS. Although 80% of the PRC gap is similar to with the IFIS, but I can still learn a lot from the differences. And also another important thing is that many standards have changed. For example, like the revenue, like the lease, actually they changed into totally different standards and compare with the original one. So I have to actually, for me, I have to start from the very beginning. Actually, it's a totally new standard for me. So there's not a lot of overlap, even if you major in accounting.
I see. That's good to know. I'm very glad to hear that you are still learning. I guess that's the one important reason many people embark on a master's program is to continue the learning even after you work, or you still want to keep on learning new things. And how about Ruhong? Ruhong, your undergrad major was also in accounting. So I mean, how do you find a master's program and undergraduate program? Is there a lot of overlap for you? Yeah.
Okay, so I think just as I already mentioned something about the course, and I think I would like to mention things like how the seminars is carried on, right? So back in university, undergraduate, we are mostly having lectures. So the professor basically gives lectures, and then you go to the class, you listen. And here you are actually required to participate in the seminar. You have to do some pre-works, like preview the courses, preview the materials, or you might find it hard to catch it on the seminars. And also there are a lot of group works to carry on. Like you need to work with your teammates. And I think that's also a way to learn things and also helpful in your future career. Yeah. And yeah, I think that's basically.
Yeah, I think that's a very good point. I totally agree with you that I think as Li Shan shared earlier, our classes are seminar style and interactive, and our students are encouraged to participate actively in class. So which is why Ruhong say there's a lot of discussion, a lot of group work, presentation in our class. And it's not like undergrad where you may be just sitting in the classroom and learning taking down notes during the lecture, but you are now you need to participate participate together with your classmates. So there's other things that's involved. So it means that you need to actually prepare for your class before you step into the lecture. You cannot just go there. I can see Ri Hong, Sutai, they're all and Celia smiling. Yes. You need to prepare for the class before you go in. So I guess that's a major difference between a lot of undergraduate program and a master's program is the style of learning maybe quite different. Yeah. So and for Celia, you are our NTU undergrad. Is the learning style quite different for you in the engineering college and compared to the business school? And how was it like for you coming from a totally, non-business graduate? How do you adapt to learning a totally different major?
Maybe in terms of teaching style, yeah, it's very different because in undergrad we have lectures and also tutorial, but in tutorials we don't need to participate. We don't really have a lot of interactions in class or presentations to do. So in that way, I guess it's quite different. To answer your second question regarding
how you adapt from an engineering student to a business school student.
That's quite a difficult question to answer. I think just go and just try your best. Just try to adapt. Yeah.
Okay.
Nothing much.
Yeah. So I think Celia has no problem adapting. Yeah. So she's already halfway through the program. I think one thing I would like to add on is that I think Ri Hong has mentioned that interactive learning style can really help to prepare one for the workplace, because in a workplace, we cannot be sitting silently in a meeting as well. We often have to speak up, to speak up in a meeting. We also have to speak up to talk to our external stakeholders as well. So it's really a kind of good training for you to, step out of your comfort zone, to learn, to do presentation and all that in a very safe environment in a classroom with your classmates. Yeah. Okay. So, Li Shan, do you have any questions for our students?
No, of course I have. Okay. So, so a question for Celia once again. Okay. So, what kind of roles are you looking towards upon completion of the program? And how has our career development team helped you so far?
To be honest, I'm still keeping my options open, but I'm leaning towards professional services. I think similar with Ri Hong, I also want to do audit upon graduation. And how the career coaching team have helped me throughout this process is that they've been very listening, very nice to talk to. Every time I have any problem, I can just hit them up. Yeah. But in terms of, I'm quite sure that they'll give you a better understanding of what career options you can do depending on your backgrounds as well. But for me, because I kind of know what I wanted to do, then yeah, that's how.
Yes, based on what Celia shared, so our GSCDO team again has so they listen to all our students very intently. They want to know you very personally, so they can extend the greatest help that they can provide you. Okay, so I'm glad that with their help, Celia has managed to go through I believe several interviews with different people, and that's why currently she's having some other decisions to make on what kind of companies that she can enter in the future. Okay, so for Sutai, okay, my question to you is you were considering actually several countries prior to your decision in NTU. So what were the main considerations for you to decide on Singapore?
I think the most important reason I have mentioned in my introduction part, I think it's the program itself. It has very practical courses, and the course will include a lot of seminar presentation, a lot of group discussion. I think it's very helpful for the learning or for the future career path. Another reason is that it won't take you much effort to get used to the local life in Singapore, since I think Chinese race account for a large proportion of the total population in Singapore. So I think in most cases you can use English and practice your oral English in the class, but you can still use Chinese in your routine life, and you won't feel uncomfortable and weird. And the food here, I think, is great, especially when you don't know how to cook. a lot of food court and canteen in the campus. So I think the life here is pretty nice, and I've pretty enjoyed it.
Okay, that's very nice of you, Sutai. Okay, so yes, Singapore is definitely very multicultural. So if you were to study here, you are most likely to adapt really quickly, just like what Sutai said. So food is very accessible. Entertainment is very accessible also. So I'm very glad that with all this, Sutai has managed to, in fact, it might be the same for Ruhong also and Celia, to blend into society very quickly. Okay, so I have a question for Ruhong. Okay, so Ruhong, you actually applied during a time when the pandemic actually just started. Okay, so like based on this, how do you still decide that you should continue a master's degree, and then why Singapore?
Okay, so I think it's last year, 2020, basically on April, when I was asked to make the decision whether to defer or just stop and go to work. So I think one important reason is that I think for COVID-19, so I think it's basically the new norm, and no matter how the uncertainties, you have to go on with your life. That's my opinion on this, because I don't want it to change my decisions. I really want to continue my graduate study. So I think that's one of the reasons about like ambition kind of things and live in another country thing. And then I took a gap year, and actually I want to talk about the benefits of a gap year. And basically you just take a step back and then look at what you actually want for your life. So that gap year actually is quite beneficial for me to take a step back and see how things will go. And yeah, I think different people might have different opinions on this, right? Maybe everyone here like considering whether to continue or just stay in their own country and try to work or something. But yeah, that's my experience. I'll say that I won't regret that I made this decision to come here and continue my life. Yeah.
Okay, that's very nice to know, Ruhong. So yes, actually Ruhong applied. When she applied, there was no pandemic, and then suddenly the pandemic came, and after she had to make a decision whether to defer or to continue. So we are glad that Ruhong thought it through and decided that her ambitions are greater than the fear of the pandemic. So that's why we have Ruhong here with us today. Okay, and I'm glad that she is coping very well with her classes at the moment. Okay, so thank you, Ruhong, for that sharing. So actually, I would like to extend this question to Sutai. So for Sutai, in terms of because of the pandemic, like how do you decide that you still had to do a master's degree?
I think it's kind of like for my future career path, because I think just like for in short term, if you just want to look for a job, I think most of the time you have to depend on yourself, because I think things are different compared with 10 years ago. Because 10 years ago, you only need a bachelor degree if you want to get a job for a Big Four or for as the investment bank. But right now things are different. You must have a master's degree. You must have rich internship experience, which is relevant to the job you want to get and you want to apply for. So the program can only provide a platform for you, but you can't expect it to do everything for you. But I think from a long-term perspective, I think the program will definitely help you because you can learn the logic and history of different accounting standards during the program. And the program will provide you workshop that will improve your soft skills, and you can improve your presentation skill and how to communicate and how to do the interview. And also, I think the program can give you a very different experience in Singapore. Actually, Singapore. I like Singapore because Singapore is a country respecting rules and regulations and has diverse race and developed economic system. So on the other hand, it praised some very traditional culture of praise a lot of Chinese traditional culture in many areas. So you can have a very different experience here. I think the experience here will provide you a totally different angle of life and career path. So I think in long term, it will be very helpful and which will make my future career better, I think.
Okay, yeah, that's also very great to know, Sutai. Yeah, so in Singapore, so far, okay, so our government has been controlling things rather well on their end. Okay, so this is to ensure that whoever comes into Singapore, be it you are a resident, a tourist, for business or a student, that you feel safe. So I'm glad that all our students today, for this session, are feeling very safe. And NTU, I'm sure Nanyang Business School and NTU has also done well in helping ensure that all students stay safe during this period. So thank you everyone for this information. So actually, just one more question, Sutai. So Sutai, you actually have a previous work experience before studying in Singapore. Am I right?
Yeah.
So how do you think how, if I were to put it, is like, what do you think is the difference between studying and working? Because you actually had to make a decision for this.
I think because when you're doing a job, you have to provide the result. Everything, the process is not the most important thing. It's to meet the deadlines and to make your boss or colleagues, your supervisor satisfied. But during the study, you can focus on yourself. You can focus on what you're interested in and what you can have more time to think about what you want to do in the future. So I think that's the most. I think the biggest difference is that. And actually, I enjoy the program, especially the course of the Professor Chu's course, because because he had experience in setting up the different accounting standards, so he can tell you why the standard is here and why the standard is set up. So I think that's the thing I can't learn from my working experience. That's the thing. The only thing I can learn from the program, from the experienced faculties in the program.
Okay, that's very nice to know also, Sutai. So, Regine, do you have any further questions you'd like to ask our panelists?
Yeah, actually, I was thinking of asking Ruhong and Sutai, since you guys, you arrived into Singapore during the pandemic. But how do you find living here? I mean, do you feel like it is very restricted? Do you feel very unsafe, or you actually feel that actually it's quite all right? Yeah. I mean, were you very concerned before you flew over for your class? Maybe Ruhong would like to go first.
Yeah, sure. So I think I won't feel unsafe because I think the social distancing, all the policies here are quite strict, and we have this trace together thing goes on. So as long as you protect yourself well, I don't think there should be any concern that you should have. And I appreciate the way that the government put effort into to control the pandemic. And I think things are going well now. I think like from 3,000 cases before, like a month ago, and now I think 700 cases every day. So it's going well, and yeah, I don't feel unsafe actually. Yeah.
That's really good to know. How about Sutai, for yourself? Were your family a bit concerned about you, deciding to still go abroad for further studies?
I don't have much concern with the situation right now. Actually, I just vaccinated the 3rd dose of Sinovac just last week. So I think I really appreciate the restriction and policies adopted by the government, because I think they're on the right path. Because it's maybe I think the situation is quite different in China, because the government will insist on there should be no new cases in the country. But I think Singapore is very different. So I understand the policy and all the restrictions adopted by the government. So I think I also feel pretty safe and enjoy the life here.
But that's good to know. Yeah, so I think, yeah, we do have a different strategy in terms of managing the pandemic. But I'm glad to hear that, you guys feel very comfortable about coming here. You don't have over fear of overly fearful or anything like that. Yeah, of course, Celia, for you have been studying in Singapore since your undergraduate, so it's a little bit, yeah. So I want to ask you the same question, but I want to ask you another question is, I think, there was a time where, the classes have to pivot online because of the certain restrictions due to the COVID-19. So, I mean, as somebody with a limited business background, how do you find, studying online for that few weeks and was it months? Yeah. Did you find how to cope? And then how does it feel when you finally, meet your classmate in person?
Honestly, regarding online lessons, I really love it because I
Okay.
don't need to travel to school and go back home. I think it's kind of a blessing in disguise. Then I have more time to let's say review my lessons if I don't understand something. And I don't think that it made me feel that it was difficult to understand things. Yeah. But of course, the first time that I saw my classmate, it was very funny. It was very interesting. But
do you find
Yeah.
like you cannot recognize them because you used to see everybody full face and then suddenly
Yeah.
everybody's like that? You're like, okay, this is like a masquerade ball. What is this? Okay, that's good to know. So you find that the online learning was actually quite okay for you. You actually kind of like miss it even maybe because of the time saving that it allows you, give you more time to review your work. But otherwise, you have no problem with it. Yeah, I think that's good to know. I think with the situation still going, can be fluid at times. I think it is good that we all learn to embrace all these changes and be agile, to just switch at a very quick turnaround, because we never know what curveballs are out there. So I think we have asked a lot of questions to the with our students. What I would like to do is to open up this question and answer with our audience. So our audience, we are welcome to type into the chat any questions that you have for us, for me and Li Shan, or for any of our students. You can type in the chat, or you can also unmute yourself and then ask us the questions. So yeah, we only have about maybe 20 minutes more. So let's see what question we have. Okay, so there's a question from Jaslyn. So under the COVID-19 situation, does NTU still encourage the international student to go to Singapore for lessons? Yes, we do actually. So the default, the mode of instruction for all our program is actually in person. So it's not a distant learning or online program, which is why as much as possible, whenever it's safe, we would want our students to be in Singapore to attend the classes. Just like our, Ri Hong and Sutai, they came to Singapore where there were no border restriction, but I think after a few weeks or a month or so, there was an increase in the cases, and we switched to online classes. And then now it's good again. They have in-person classes again. Yeah, so as much as possible, we do encourage students to be here in Singapore. Yeah. Okay, so there's another questions. How after graduation, what is the path to become a chartered accountant or auditor? So I think to be an auditor, you don't need to be a chartered accountant. Chartered accountant is a different kind of a designation that I think that Li Shan has shared in her presentation. As a graduate from NTU Masters of Science in Accountancy program, you're offered exemptions to like the Singapore Chartered Accountant qualifications, the Singapore CA they call it. So you skip the foundation level papers in the Singapore CA and go straight to the professional level papers. You clear all those papers as well as clog up the work experience requirements, and then you are able to get that chartered accountant designation. So for auditor, there is no need to be a chartered. You don't have to be a chartered accountant, and our graduates can all be employed by the Big Four. Maybe I don't know. Maybe Sutai, since you were in Big Four before, maybe you can shed some light about being an auditor in the Big Four. How do you get in?
I think if you got a master's degree at NTU, you're definitely qualified to, because I have I used to prepare the interview with my manager. I have participated in a campus interview with my manager when I was at KPMG. So I think if you can successfully apply for the MSc program and you successfully got the master's degree, I think you're definitely qualified, and you have a lot of chances. Like the PwC Super Day, and they can actually some of my classmates just participated in the Super Day online, and you have plenty of chances to communicate or talk to the employees at at Big Four. So I think it's quite helpful if and you will have a lot of chances.
Yeah, definitely. So our careers office colleagues actually do organize such kind of like where they get a Big Four, I think, to speak with our students, to share about the kind of opportunities with our students. Correct me if I'm wrong, Ruhong, Sutai, and Celia, the kind of GSCDO events that they hold. And so I think there's another questions on that NTU offer jobs or whole job fair. I think it is yes, they do. Maybe Celia, do you have any? Could you share what are some of the employment opportunities that's offered by GSCDO? I think as a student, I think you guys know it better than I do.
I think there's this job portal where you can see like available jobs, and I think the career office, they do send out some emails if there are any like job openings or career fairs. Yeah, but in terms of when it is held, I'm not very sure regarding the timeline.
Yeah, I think they are. So I think because there's quite a number of students in the program who are looking for a permanent job in mainland China. So they do make sure that you guys are prepared for is it the Chun Zhao or Qiu Zhao? Maybe Ruhong can help me there. Yeah, there's a very specific recruitment time for Chinese firms, right?
Yeah, so I think they have the GSDO, they have something like a WeChat group where there are emails, and in that WeChat group, they'll share some job posting, and also you can always like come to them for advices for jobs, and yeah, and just to so for the auditor thing, I think there's a Big Four stuff. It's something like an online fair, job fair. And that was held this year on August, the end of August and start of September. And when you can talk to the Big Four recruiters and for information, then you can apply for the jobs. Yeah, that's the one for Singapore Big Four.
Yes. Thank you so much, Ruhong. So our students actually get to go through all this. They know the process better than I do. So and I think they also constantly invite alumni who work in different areas to actually come and have talks with our students, because some of our students are interested to explore job opportunities with investment firms. So they do look for alumni in those areas. Of course, the Big Four, etc. So we have a lot of different master's program. So they do organize a different kind of they invite different alumni to share with our students. So I think sometimes they're open to other programs as well. So if you're interested in certain area and you see the alumni is from that specific industry that you're keen in, you're welcome to actually join those events. Okay, so another question is, how long will our student pass STP will be given? So for our program, it is actually a 1-year full-time program for the program without a specialization. So, and students have the option to take up the optional internship program at the end of the coursework. So you are able to extend the program by another half a year, which means that you will be conferred in January in another year. Okay, and Suti asks, what's the average GMAT score? Well, the average GMAT score changes every year. It's really hard to tell you what's the average GMAT score. But I would say that I think for the cohort there, I think the average is slightly above 700. But I think a competitive GMAT score that you should at least aim for would be 650. Yes. Okay. Okay, so Mona, thanks. I said to everybody, thank you very much. If there is any contact information, the applicants could contact us directly. Sure, no problem. We can later. Lishan will flash on the screen how to get in touch with us. Yeah, not to worry.
Okay. Oh, actually, I would also like to add to that. Okay, so I know some of you have received some video assessment emails. Okay, so if let's say you have difficulties in because you did your video assessment halfway, the link got broken, or you couldn't answer halfway, your text got jumbled up. Actually, within the email invite, you will see that there's a link for help. It's something to do with the 5Q Live. So if you see that, you just email to the 5Q Live team for technical assistance. And then after that, they can help you further also. because
Yeah.
this is a back end system problem. Some things that the admission side we cannot solve. Yeah.
Yeah, so we also have to write to them for help. So it could be faster if you write to them. Yes. Yeah. So the next question is from Chen Han. May I apply for merit scholarship? Yeah, definitely. So for scholarship application, you should definitely apply it when you submit your application and not after you have gotten the admission offer. Because in your online application, there is a specific section on scholarship. They are usually just additional essay questions that you have to complete it. So you just complete it, check the box that you like to apply for merit-based scholarship, and submit the application. So it's that easy. You leave the thinking part to the admissions team, the scholarship committee, to decide if you'll be awarded the scholarship after you get your admission offer. So it's very simple. So do put in your application for scholarship, because the decision to admit you and to award a scholarship, they are made independently. So it doesn't affect if you apply for scholarship, you get less chance of admissions. There's nothing of this sort. So there are really no linkages at all. So I would encourage you to everybody, if you are, if you want to be considered for scholarship, just do that. Just submit that, complete that section. Yeah, I hope that helps everybody. Okay, so I think, well, there's no more questions already. Well, I mean, you guys have any questions to ask our student here, because it's very rare that we get them to join us on an evening like this, because they're usually quite busy. So make full use of this opportunity to ask them questions on the program. Yeah. Okay, so Xuan Yan has a question. How many offers have been made? Well, we have made quite a number of offers. So the admission process is a rolling one. So definitely we are on our way to recruit half the cohort already. So, but not to worry, we still have spaces. So I would say, put in your application, because the round 1 application is at end of March, end of Jan, and the final deadline is end of March. So I think there's still plenty of time for you to put in your application. Yeah. So, but please bear with us, because we do get a number of applications as well. So give us, the admissions team, more time to review them. And also during the year-end period, because of the limited interview slots, there may be less interviews, invitation going out. So do bear with us. Yeah. Yeah. Okay, any other questions to any of our students or anybody?
Yes, any questions? Anyone would like to maybe ask any of our students any questions? Learn a bit more from them. Anyone?
Okay. If they're too shy to ask, let me ask our students. So, every year I get a lot of students asking about on-campus housing and things like that. How many of you here actually stay on campus? Celia probably no, because she says she don't want to travel. So I guess she's not staying on campus. So Sutai, any of you stay on campus?
I think both of us stay in Hall 7 here on campus. On campus.
Okay,
yeah.
so maybe you can share with us. I know it is very hard to get on-campus housing, so you guys are really fortunate to get it. So maybe you can share a little bit about how your housing is like, because there are various type of configuration. There are some single room with attached bathroom, some apartment type. So which type are you guys staying in?
Actually, I stay in a double room, and so I'll say the process is not really satisfying, because we actually applied for the graduate hall 2, and which is better, I'll say. But because of I think there are a lot of applications going on, so we are actually allocated here in hall 7, and I'll say it's okay, but not that satisfying. Like, we have a double room, and I actually stay there's one two bathroom and 2 shower room each floor, and I think and we don't have air conditioned here in Hall 7. So I'll say I'll hope that you guys will be luckier, because I think Hall 7 here is actually going to be teared down, like a redecoration. So. But for other classmates, they actually stay in better halls, like graduate hall 2 and faculties or graduate hall 1. Yeah, they have better conditions, I'll see.
Yeah, I think this year the demand for on-campus housing was extremely high. So the competition, the demand is really very hard. So Ru Hong may not have the ideal kind of on-campus housing that she's aiming for, but still quite fortunate to get on-campus housing. How about Sutai? How about yourself?
I pretty enjoy the life here because Hall 7 is very close to the canteen south spine, and you can just have easy access to the food there. And I think, and also every day we have workers to clean up the washroom, so you don't have to worry about the environment here. So I'm pretty satisfied.
Okay, so I can tell Sutai is like a foodie because he kept mentioning there's a very easy access to food. Yeah, in fact, every hall I think there's canteen so that students staying in the halls they can get access to food. Okay, there's one question that asks if you can cook in your dormitory or your housing. You can cook light cooking, right? But not the kind of cooking with a lot of smoke. You may trigger off that smoke alarm. But if you want to cook your own instant noodle and all that, I think that's fine. Yeah. Well, how about Sutai? You sound like looks like you have something to add.
I think it depends on which type of dorm you apply for. If you live in the faculty or North Hill, I think you can have a chance to cook. But if you're a Hall 7, I think it's hard. It's hard for you to cook. I mean, actually, it's impossible because you don't have all the tools to cook.
Yeah, but there's a shared pantry, right? Like usually even not the apartments now, there's shared pantry for you guys to cook simple things, right? Like instant noodles. I think that is, yeah. Yeah, so yeah, it depends on how adventurous you are. But I think the one thing is food is all around campus. There's also the kind of delivery we have in Singapore, Deliveroo, Food Panda, Grab Food and all that. So, not to worry, you'll be quite well taken care of. Okay, so there's a question from Yongyue if we will review the application altogether after the deadline. So for us, it actually is a rolling admissions, which means that after you put in your application, the admissions team will strive to review your application, especially when all your supporting documents are ready, are complete. Yeah, so that's what we hope to do. The earlier you apply, we also strive our best to give you an earlier outcome. Yes. Of course, the other benefits about applying earlier is that, as I mentioned, it's a rolling admission. So the earlier you put in your application, it kind of increase your chances of being shortlisted for admission interview because while we still have a lot of spaces left, a lot of seats left, but as we are nearer to our final deadline, we may have a lot less seats available in the program. That's where it can get even more, the competition can be even more intense. Okay. So Sihua is asking that Singapore has a specific recruitment season like China for the Big Four. And any of our students can reply. Is there a specific recruitment season for Big Four like in China?
Actually, I think it's in August, September, and you'll receive the offer basically before the end of October. Yeah, that's the situation for this year.
Okay, so Sihua, I hope it answers your questions. And Victor is asking for views on the future of the audit industry. So, so maybe Celia, would you like to share what is your view of the future of the audit industry? Is it going to be replaced by AI?
Honestly, I feel that there's a lot of judgment thing in audit that is not really like replaceable with AI, but I think Sutai and Ru Hong can give you a better answer. Yeah, to this.
Yeah, since you guys have also worked in audit and internship and all that, so do you think what is the future of audit, in your opinion, Ru Hong and Sutai?
I can't say the future is promising because it depends on your own efforts. Because the pool of Big Four has expanded through the past 10 years. I think it's around 2000, about around 10 or 20 years ago. The big actually only people graduate from the top level university can enter the Big Four, but actually the pool expanded. So you have to put more effort. You have to work harder to achieve this to get the same position. So I think it depends on yourself. But in my personal view, I don't think I think audit, or especially Big Four, is a good start for your future career, because you can develop very good, nice professional working habits here, and you can have access to clients, access to clients like the listed company and like some very famous company. And have a lot of other training opportunities here. So I think it's not a bad choice. I can't say it's the best choice, but it's not a bad choice.
It is great. Yeah. So actually, I think in audit, although I'm not an audit student, so I can't say with certainty. But what I always hear the faculty telling is that although AI, machine learning could be maybe, or maybe not maybe, are already replacing those very routine kind of repetitive jobs and all that, but the higher level things that need thinking and having interpretation and all their judgment are still we still need humans to think about that, to do all those higher level jobs. So actually, by having AI doing all these very repetitive routine jobs, it actually allows accountant auditors to work on even more important things, more strategic things that would better add value to your organization. So your chance of being replaced by AI, well, was not totally, but they just help you to do your job better, so that you're more efficient, you have more time to do more important things that will make you more valuable to organization. Yeah. Okay, so there's a question so about the scholarship, whether you should apply or, okay, so you should apply for scholarship while you're submitting your applications. So yeah, so that is highly encouraged that you complete the scholarship section while you are submitting your applications. So so I think I'm conscious of the time, because we don't have a lot of time yet. So I just answer one or two more questions. So one question is it possible to study in NTU while you're being a permanent employee? Okay, so if you are a resident of Singapore, you can study part-time in the full-time part-time MSc Accountancy program. But if you are international student here, you cannot work full-time while studying, because the student pass will not allow that. So for those of you who are interested to look for internship during the school term, do note that the student pass for international student only, there is a cap of 16 hours per week that you can work. But if you opt for the optional internship at the end of the program, there's no cap, there's no restriction on the numbers of hours you can work. So you can actually work full-time during the optional internship. Yep. So there's one final question from Si Yue. In addition to auditors, what other employment destinations of this program? So actually, our graduates, a lot of them go to Big Four because there's like a very natural starting place for a lot of accountancy graduates. But I think some of our students, we have students in the past, alumni who has gone on to work as management trainee in FMCG. We have students who are working in area of investment or risks in investment companies. We have students who are working in, of course, the finance department of MNCs as a finance manager and things like that. We have students who work in, who manage to find job in consulting as well. We have students who are working in taxation in the Big Four as well. So there's quite a variety of jobs that you can get into. So, although the natural path may seem to the auditing and accounting related, we do have students who end up in other business related jobs, because accounting is, the language of business, right? By understanding accounting, you actually get to understand a lot about how well the company is doing, which is the backbone of many strategic decisions. So I would say that, there are still a lot, it can open a lot of doors for you as well. Yeah. So, So I hope today's session is a good session for everybody. Maybe I'll just ask our students to just give one advice to all our to be applicants or incoming student. What is one advice that you like to give them? Maybe I'll start with Ri Hong.
Yeah, sure. So I was thinking about saying that I think coming here, you can learn much more than just accountancy. Yeah, that's my one sentence of advice.
Thank you. And Sutai?
I think the experience here is pretty challenging, but it's really helpful. Just the course is not that easy because you have to put a lot of effort in it, but you can learn and you can learn from it, and you can prepare better for your future path, I think.
Thank you so much. And finally, Celia, what is your advice?
Maybe to everyone who's considering to apply, just apply. It's fun and it's challenging, but I think it's just fun. So just do it.
Okay, yes, she is the, just do it. Yeah, don't think too much. Okay, so I know some of you are asking about how you can get in touch with us. You can, so sorry, let me check if this is still a valid QR code. Sorry, this QR has expired already. So Lishan, do you have another slide where we have our email address or other?
Oh, of course.
Yes. Sorry, you can add me on WeChat and then I'll add you to the group if you're for those who are applying for next year intake. Yeah, thank you so much for joining us this evening. We really appreciate your time, and of course, many thanks to our students for spending time with us this evening to answer all your questions. Thank you, everybody. Thank you, and good night.
Thank you, everyone. Good night.
Thank you.